So you have brick, maybe like that. I can't zoom, but you have a brick house and you're wanting to get it changed to maybe go white. Should you paint it? Should you lime wash? Let's dive in. I'm driving to another job site, but let's dive in some pros and cons of painting versus a lime wash and or mineral paint. All right, so we were just leaving a house. We're doing some estimating for interior painting, but they had just got their house paint as far as the exterior. So I thought that would be a great segue because we have been doing a bunch of estimates for people on brick. When you're painting inside of a brick, it doesn't really matter. Lime wash, paint, it's not a huge deal because you don't have to worry about moisture issues. However, outside of a house, it makes a big difference. So as we are doing exterior brick painting projects, the lime washing is a huge buzzword right now. It looks really cool. We love doing it. It just adds so much character to a house. Although it could be considered permanent, technically it's not a permanent solution. So putting a lime wash like Romabio over a brick, was it fireplace, entrance wall, what have you, even though when you put that on there, it will last. The cool thing or bad thing, depending on your opinion, is it can, I shouldn't say change, but really it's exactly what it's doing. It's changing because it's weathering. So as the lime is on there and calcification's on there, it will change its look and feel based off of time, weather, the brick. So the mineral content of the brick can actually kind of bleed through a little bit, which can affect, you know, the final color of how the brick looks. The other thing that can happen as you're putting it on there, you're going to have light and dark spots. So you might have to do 2 or 3 coats, you know, if you want some of the dark brick to come through. But at the end of the day, that dark brick, it's still going to come through at some point. It's not a permanent solution to get rid of dark colored brick. And again, the aging part. So those are the biggest things with the lime wash. And then like Romabio also has this product called Masonry Flat. It's a really cool product, but the bad part about it is weather. And the lime wash, it kind of is the same thing. If the brick is wet, it's okay, but it can't be after you apply it. So both of them need a full day of cure between coats technically, and technically it's supposed to be like 12 hours minimum from the time you stop applying mineral flat, masonry flat to brick. You need 12 hours of no rain whatsoever. If you look on the instructions, there's some various, I'll call them discrepancies, because the instructions have 3 different versions of it. So we're going to the most cautious, which once we're done applying it, there can be no rain for 12 hours. Depending on who you talk to, some within Romabio, some other applicators, they'll tell you that if it doesn't rain, you know, 3 to 4 hours, you could or you should be okay. We really don't like the could and shoulds because that just leaves room for error. And then the other part is how much time between coats. It's like 4 to 6 hours between coats. So you can do it, but then again, it's a matter of how much time have you done between coats. Has it dried properly? The cool thing about the masonry flat, you know, once you put it on there, it completely calcifies. It becomes part of the brick. It's a pretty permanent type of application. They warranty it for 20 years. That's why from our perspective as installers, I want to be 100% sure if the instructions say it can't rain for 12 hours, then it can't rain for 12 hours. So like the past month, we've been trying to do a project with this stuff, and every day it's like 20-30% rain, and it's isolated or 100%, you know, depending on where we're at. So it makes it really tricky when you get 25% scattered rain at 2 o'clock. Well, it has to sit for 12 hours, so how do you even start that day? So it's been making it really difficult to try and schedule that project. The other thing you can do with brick, which I've seen it in that picture we just took, that's exactly what they did. They just painted the brick. It's definitely an option. You can definitely paint it. It's definitely a lot easier. It's definitely a lot cheaper. Kicker is depending on what kind of product you use. So if you're using like Luxon, which is a masonry product, that stuff, if you can't get wet, I think it's 36 hours, I think is the minimum that you can't get wet at all. So no rain whatsoever, and to make sure that it stays almost like waterproof. But then you have different products, bonding primers like Sticks, which is a great indoor-outdoor bonding paint, bonding primer. And then you can kind of use whatever paint you want after that point. But once you go that route, the kicker is you're putting paint that's non-porous on a porous surface. So now the whole point of brick is it breathes, let water comes through, water can come out. You've just sealed that surface. So once you seal that surface, now if there's any moisture behind that brick, or if the water's coming through from the top or what have you, that water has nowhere to go but down or back, which means you just created an atmosphere for mold. And I really don't like that. Not that we can't do it, it's just, it is a concern, it is a possibility. So we always tell people, if you're painting brick, you're gonna have to initial that we cannot control moisture issues behind the paint. If there is mold for whatever reason, we're not liable for any mold that may happen because the bricks are sealed, which I don't like doing, but it's the nature of the beast. So there's a quick video for you guys. Hopefully it kind of made sense. Makes your decision a little bit easier on which product to use. I do like the mineral or masonry flat paint. It's a great product. It's just the temperature, and that's the other kicker, surface temperature. So if you have a house like one we're working on or trying to work on, it faces directly east and there's not a lot of shade, so it's facing east in the morning. Surface temperature, they're claiming 90 degrees. It's 90 degrees with that sun hitting on that dark brick. So now as soon as you put that stuff on there, it dries. It's almost instant, and that's really not how it's intended to dry. It's supposed to be more of a slow kind of pressure cooker, slow cook, or smokers, slow roll. It's supposed to slow, steady, dry, adhere, bond. But if you get something that's too fast where it's drying in a matter of 5 minutes, it's an issue. So there's our quick, 6-minute video on coatings for brick between Limewash, masonry flat, and paint. If you got questions on painting these surfaces, let us know. We would love to see how we can help you out in that process. Hope you have a great day, and God bless.